with individuals assessing their chances against fellow contenders. Amidst the anticipation, Baron Liam, a nobleman from the Northeastern Federation, voices his unease at the prospect of facing Chris, recognizing the daunting challenge ahead. Within the Northeastern Alliance, Baron Liam grapples with a wave of apprehension as the day of the competition looms nearer. Yet, his fellow Alliance members rally around him, offering words of solace and reassurance. They remind him of the distinguished lineage of skilled swordsmen from which he hails, urging him not to succumb to despair. Count Conrad, in particular, delivers a stirring speech, imploring Baron Liam not to relinquish hope or motivation. With unwavering conviction, Count Conrad declares his belief that victory will inevitably grace the Conrad bloodline. This conviction is reinforced by the fact that one of his own members is set to face McBurney, a renowned one-armed swordsman, instilling further confidence in their chances. Count Conrad underscores the paramount importance of the competition for the Alliance's survival, vowing to lead the Conrad bloodline to triumph. His impassioned words ignite a fervent sense of excitement among the Alliance members, who respond with resounding cheers and applause. As the day of reckoning arrives, the arena swells with anticipation as eager spectators gather to witness the unfolding spectacle. Inside, Baron Liam finds himself consumed by the weight of expectation, acutely aware of the scrutiny from the Federation. Turning to his loyal soldier, Max, Baron Liam offers words of caution, advising him to tread carefully and avoid unnecessary risks. Yet, Max's unwavering resolve offers reassurance, as he pledges his unwavering dedication to the pursuit of victory. Max acknowledges the formidable reputation of their opponent, Chris, but steadfastly maintains his own prowess as a two-star swordsman, bolstering Baron Liam's confidence in their capabilities. Encouraged by Max's steadfast determination, Baron Liam fervently implores him to face Chris on the battlefield without reservation. He offers his unwavering support and pledges to intervene if Max's safety is ever imperiled. Max, emboldened by the trust placed in him by Baron Liam, sees this as a defining moment to leave an indelible mark. As he steps onto the arena floor, Max is driven by a burning desire to prove himself not only to his lord, but to the watching audience as well. However, upon locking eyes with Chris, Max finds himself momentarily transfixed by the palpable aura of menace emanating from his opponent. Yet, summoning all his courage, Max steadies himself and focuses on the task at hand. As the clash of swords commences, Max charges forward with unyielding determination, his every movement fueled by an unwavering resolve. However, with a composed demeanor, Chris effortlessly maneuvers his sword, causing Max's weapon to slip from his grasp. In a swift motion, Chris strikes with precision, swiftly incapacitating his opponent. The first match concludes in a mere 3 seconds, with Chris from the Dmitri bloodline emerging victorious and advancing to the second round. Baron Liam, taken aback by the vast disparity in skill between Chris and Max, can only watch in shock. Meanwhile, Kevin, also hailing from the Dmitri bloodline, secures victory in his match, effortlessly advancing to the second round. Vulcan and Pucky follow suit, easily triumphing in their respective bouts and securing their places in the next round. The other participants are left astonished by the dominant performances of these four formidable contenders. Whispers spread among the onlookers, affirming the rumors of the unbeatable nature of Chris, Kevin, Vulcan, and Pucky. With these four seemingly invincible, the remaining participants pin their hopes on defeating Henderson and McBurney in the upcoming matches, recognizing them as their only chance to upset the balance of power. Then the scene shifts to, after the group announcements, the focus shifts to a cluster of soldiers who are taken aback by the revelation that Henderson is representing the Dmitri family in the competition. They knew Henderson as part of the Lawrence family, and his reputation as a mere farmer incapable of wielding a sword properly baffles them. They question how Henderson, with his humble background, managed to secure a spot in a prestigious swordsman competition. Among the 6 representatives of Roman, opinions vary, especially concerning Chris and Kevin, known respectively as the Flash and Devil of Cairo for their renowned skills. Participants are eager to avoid confrontation with these formidable opponents. Similarly, the intimidating physiques and mercenary past of Vulcan and Pucky make them formidable adversaries. In contrast, McBurney and Henderson, labeled as a one-armed swordsman and a former farmer, pale in comparison, with Henderson considered the weakest link among them. In the audience, whispers and mockery about Henderson's past embarrassments ripple through the crowd. Being grouped with Henderson is seen as an advantageous stroke of luck, sparking envy among the participants. The scene then transitions to Baron Romero Dmitri, who questions Roman about the necessity of organizing a competition solely to assert the Dmitri family's dominance in the northeastern region. Baron Romero suggests that while hosting such an event might project an image of goodwill from the Dmitri family, the nobles of the Northeastern Alliance harbor no true intention of submitting to Dmitri's authority. However, Roman provides insight to his father, explaining the vital importance of the competition. He argues that the Northeastern Alliance Association may be overly confident in their ability to challenge Dmitri independently. Roman believes that if they come to realize their inability to breach Dmitri's defenses, they may be more inclined to capitulate to Dmitri's rule without resistance. As the first round for Group 5 commenced, all eyes turned to the match between Henderson and Taylor. Henderson's opponent, Taylor, was known among the audience as an adept aura swordsman, prompting doubts about Henderson's chances. Despite the skepticism surrounding him, Henderson exchanged cordial greetings with Taylor. As Taylor engages in conversation with Henderson, reminiscences of their past encounters flood Taylor's mind. Taylor recalls the days spent aiding Henderson on the farm, never anticipating the drastic shift that would unfold. With a hint of disbelief, Taylor expressed astonishment at Henderson's transformation from a humble farmer to a formidable swordsman. Drawing his sword with a practiced hand, Taylor addresses Henderson, acknowledging their prior acquaintance. Taylor, having recently achieved a significant milestone by attaining a 2-star status following a profound revelation, offers counsel to Henderson in their shared moment. With sincerity in his voice, Taylor conveys to Henderson that this encounter marks their final opportunity as acquaintances. He stresses the futility of engaging in a one-sided conflict that would only lead to senseless bloodshed. Urging Henderson to reconsider, Taylor implores him to abandon the impending fight, opting instead for a resolution devoid of unnecessary violence. Upon hearing Taylor's plea, Henderson responds with a firm resolve, urging Taylor to discard any preconceived notions of the Henderson he once knew. With a steely gaze, Henderson warns Taylor that any attempt to show leniency will be swiftly seized upon, exploited as an opportunity to secure victory. Undeterred, Taylor acknowledges Henderson's stance with a somber acceptance, expressing a heartfelt hope that Henderson will not come to rue the path he has chosen. As the match began, Henderson launched himself at Taylor with unrelenting force, his determination palpable in every strike. Taylor, taken aback by the sheer intensity of Henderson's attack, recognized the use of aura in his opponent's movements. Despite the initial surprise, Taylor remained composed, understanding the gravity of the situation. With a swift and decisive motion, Henderson unleashed the Azura sword technique, infusing his blade with aura as he struck at Taylor with precision. In that crucial moment, Henderson's resolve shone through as he vowed to do whatever it took to honor his commitment to Lord Roman and surpass his former self. In the realm of aura manifestation, Henderson found himself trailing behind his peers who swiftly brought forth their aura. Sensing mana and materializing it demanded substantial effort and time from Henderson. The journey was akin to being a tortoise amidst hares, with him consistently at the back of the line. Despite this apparent slowness, Henderson remained diligent, pushing forward with unwavering determination. During the first round of Group 5, Henderson faced Taylor, an adept aura swordsman. Observers speculated that Henderson stood little chance against such a formidable opponent. However, Henderson's perseverance and hard work were about to redefine expectations. In the heat of the match, Henderson's relentless effort nearly led to Taylor's defeat, surprising everyone, especially Taylor. Even though Henderson's progress seemed slow, his resilience and commitment were undeniable. Taylor, astonished by Henderson's tenacity, couldn't fathom losing to him in this manner. Determined to conclude the fight decisively, Taylor employed his own aura to halt Henderson's charge. Despite not wanting to resort to aura against Henderson, Taylor knew it was time to bring the match to an end. With a yellow aura enveloping him, Taylor charged at Henderson with full force, setting the stage for a climactic confrontation. Amidst the clash of auras, Henderson's mind wandered to a conversation with Chris from a month ago. Chris, acknowledging Henderson's initial weakness, had witnessed a transformation within him. Henderson's newfound desire for victory, challenging himself instead of succumbing to defeat, had changed the course of his life. Chris assured Henderson of his worthiness to stand beside Lord Roman, a promise that resonated deeply with him. Returning to the present match, both Henderson and Taylor unleashed their auras, colliding in a clash that would determine the victor. In a surprising turn of events, Taylor found himself defeated on the ground, unable to anticipate Henderson's unexpected prowess. Seizing the opportunity, Henderson stood tall with his sword pointed at Taylor's head, securing his first win in the competition. The audience erupted in excitement as Henderson's triumph unfolded before their eyes. Cheers and chants of Henderson's name filled the arena. The unexpected victory over an Aura swordsman by someone who once toiled as a farmer captivated the spectators. Within the Northeastern Alliance, disbelief and shock spread as they witnessed Henderson's unexpected triumph. Questions arose about Count Conrad's earlier assessment of Henderson as a weak link in the group of six. Count Conrad, however, urged his members to maintain composure, confidently stating that the ultimate winner would undoubtedly emerge from the Northeastern Alliance Association. Now, it's Group 2's turn, and Kevin steps into the arena, contemplative as he walks. He can't shake the feeling of being consistently slower than Chris by a whole 5 seconds. Whenever the question arises of who is the sword of Lord Roman, the unanimous answer is always Chris. Yet, Kevin harbors a stern resolve to prove his own value to Lord Roman in his unique way. His opponent, Miles, hails from the Northeastern Alliance. Miles regards Kevin as the Devil of Dimitri, anticipating a fierce battle. Without hesitation, Miles launches into an aggressive assault, charging at Kevin with full force. However, Kevin remains composed, swiftly evading Miles' attacks and delivering a precise punch to his stomach. Undeterred, Miles continues his onslaught, believing that persistence will eventually land him a blow. Yet, Kevin effortlessly dodges each strike, countering with a series of rapid attacks using his knife. As Miles struggles to keep up, his resolve wanes, and he ultimately surrenders. The members of the Northeastern Alliance are left in shock as they witness their fellow soldiers' defeat. Conversely, for Kevin, the victory solidifies his worth by shattering his opponent's will to fight. In that moment, Kevin proves that true strength isn't just about speed or aggression but also about determination and strategy. The scene unfolds before the commencement of the highly anticipated tournament, where Jonathan, the captain of the renowned Dimitri Knights, rallies his soldiers. They stand in disciplined formation. Jonathan addresses them with a grave tone. He begins, "As you are all aware, this competition is hosted by none other than the esteemed young Master Roman." Jonathan continues, "And among the competitors stands Chris, the ex-vice captain of the Knight Order, a formidable opponent." He implores his soldiers to watch Chris closely, to learn from his techniques and strategies, recognizing the opportunity to elevate themselves as Knights of the Dimitri Order. The soldiers respond in unison, their voices ringing out in affirmation, "Yes, sir." In the arena, Chris, having already triumphed in the first round, prepares for his next challenge. Jonathan observes from the sidelines, a mix of surprise and admiration flickering across his features as he witnesses Chris's skill firsthand. He marvels at how Chris has grown stronger since his days in the Knight Order. Meanwhile, Chris stands poised and focused, seeing himself not just as a participant, but as a representation of Lord Roman's authority. He is determined to vanquish any opponent who dares to stand in his way, ensuring that none shall question the supremacy of his lord. As the rounds progress, Chris's dominance becomes increasingly evident. With each victory, he pushes himself further, feeling a relentless drive to excel. Yet, despite his remarkable performance, he remains unsatisfied, craving more challenges to overcome. Jonathan watches in astonishment as Chris dispatches his opponents with breathtaking speed and precision. He wonders silently how Chris has attained such formidable strength, pondering the influence of young Master Roman on his protege. Meanwhile, among the other participants, a sense of resignation begins to spread. Some soldiers, faced with the daunting prospect of confronting Chris, choose to concede defeat rather than risk humiliation. They rationalize that it is better to withdraw gracefully than to suffer a humiliating defeat on the battlefield. However, one soldier, Farrell, refuses to yield to despair. Despite his doubts about his ability to defeat Chris, he resolves to face him head-on, if only to prove his worth. Farrell sets himself a modest goal, to last just 1 minute against the formidable opponent. As the match begins, Farrell braces himself for the inevitable onslaught. But before he can even mount a defense, Chris charges forward with unparalleled speed, delivering a devastating blow that ends the match in a matter of seconds. The arena falls silent as Jonathan and the other spectators watch in awe at Chris's unparalleled skill. Chris's dominance in the tournament was nothing short of extraordinary. After securing victory in the first round, he proceeded to blaze through the following rounds with astonishing speed. In a mere 27 seconds, he had conquered 5 rounds, leaving spectators in awe and opponents in dismay. The Northeastern Alliance Association could only watch in horror as Chris's unstoppable momentum seemed to defy all expectations. As Chris surged ahead, other competitors also showcased their formidable skills. Kevin's ferociousness earned him victory in Group 2, while Vulcan and Puki relied on their immense physical strength to overpower their opponents in Groups 3 and 4. Henderson, against all odds, surprised everyone with an unexpected victory in Group 5, further adding to the intrigue of the tournament. Yet, amidst the flurry of victories, there remained one last hope for the Northeastern Alliance Association, facing off against McBurney in Group 6. The scene then shifted to Count Conrad, who, with a keen eye, assessed the readiness of his knight, Gabriel. Gabriel, displaying unwavering confidence, assured Count Conrad of his peak condition, a testament to the rigorous training he had undergone since childhood under the Conrad family's guidance. Count Conrad reflected on Gabriel's journey, recognizing him as the family's secret weapon. As a 3-star swordsman, Gabriel possessed unparalleled skill and expertise. Despite the absence of aura, prohibited in the competition, Gabriel's prowess was undeniable, setting him apart from his competitors. As Count Conrad observed McBurney's advancement to round 3, he couldn't help but attribute it to mere luck. However, he was certain that the end was nigh for McBurney, or rather, for Roman Dmitri. Addressing Gabriel, Count Conrad reminded him of the fate that had befallen all other swordsmen of the Northeastern Alliance Association, leaving Gabriel as the sole contender standing. He cautioned Gabriel against any sense of pity, emphasizing the need to relentlessly crush McBurney, despite his one-armed status. Gabriel, upon hearing Count Conrad's words, resolved that there was no conceivable way he could lose to a one-armed opponent. As Gabriel entered the arena, his gaze fell upon McBurney, whose diminished sense of balance betrayed the loss of his limb. Gabriel pondered how a commoner knight like McBurney, who had once seemed incapable of ascending to knighthood even with 2 arms, could now vie for victory in a competition that epitomized a knight's honor and pride, despite his newfound handicap. As the match commenced, Gabriel charged forward, confident in his abilities and choosing not to rely on aura to prove his superiority. He launched a barrage of attacks, each aimed at overwhelming McBurney. Yet, to Gabriel's surprise, McBurney skillfully blocked every strike that came his way. Gabriel's keen anticipation led him to predict McBurney's next move, a necessary dodge to the right to evade the impending attack. As Gabriel had foreseen, McBurney swiftly shifted in the anticipated direction, unwittingly leaving one side vulnerable. Recognizing the opening, Gabriel seized the moment, swiftly launching his strike toward McBurney's exposed flank. But McBurney, defying expectations, managed to thwart Gabriel's attack with ease. This unexpected defense left Gabriel puzzled, struggling to comprehend the unorthodox movements of his opponent. McBurney relentlessly countered, launching a barrage of strikes at Gabriel, who skillfully parried each blow. Witnessing Gabriel's unwavering defense, frustration seeped into his veins. In a moment of impatience, Gabriel summoned his inner strength, channeling his aura to forcefully repel McBurney backward. In that charged moment, Gabriel's mind churned with a realization. McBurney's journey to the 3rd round wasn't a stroke of luck. It was a testament to his cunning. Despite the apparent imbalance caused by the absence of an arm, McBurney wielded it to his advantage, leveraging it as a strategic tool rather than a hindrance. The scene then shifted to a memory of Roman, imparting wisdom to McBurney. Roman emphasized the fundamental importance of balance in swordsmanship, revealing the existence of the left-arm sword art, a technique devised by a one-armed swordsman. Roman marveled at the creator's resilience and determination, contrasting it with McBurney's initial sense of hopelessness. Through flashbacks, McBurney's journey unfolded, a journey fraught with feelings of inadequacy and despair. He grappled with his disability, struggling to find purpose and meaning in his life. However, as time passed, McBurney refused to succumb to despair. Instead, he clung to a flicker of hope, a hope that ignited a fire within him, propelling him to overcome his limitations and master the left-arm sword art. In a solemn oath to his lord, Roman, McBurney vowed to emerge victorious in the competition, declaring that his life as a swordsman was far from over. Returning to the present moment, McBurney skillfully parried Gabriel's attack before swiftly launching himself into the air. With precision, he delivered a decisive strike to Gabriel's chest, bringing him down with a triumphant smile. In that moment, McBurney credited Roman for granting him a newfound sense of purpose and vitality, breathing new life into his journey as a swordsman. The arena echoed with the resounding victories of Dimitri's swordsmen, each triumph solidifying their dominance over the Northeastern region. Their success left the members of the Northeastern Alliance Association at a loss for words, their defeat glaringly evident. Count Conrad, a key figure in the association, found himself stunned by the turn of events. The once formidable reputation of the alliance now lay shattered at their feet, shattered by the overwhelming might of Dmitri. As Count Conrad grappled with the realization of their defeat, he couldn't help but wonder when Dmitri had become so formidable. Shocked and shaken, he questioned the nature of the adversary he had provoked, realizing that even with the support of the central government, victory against Dmitri was far from assured. The other members of the alliance looked to Count Conrad for guidance, seeking direction in the wake of their crushing loss. Acknowledging the defeat of all their swordsmen, Count Conrad grimly accepted the harsh reality that the alliance would now be reduced to mere followers in the region. With a heavy heart, they made the decision to withdraw from the arena, their hopes of reclaiming their former glory dashed by the overwhelming strength of Dmitri. Meanwhile, among the spectators, whispers of astonishment and speculation filled the air. Many marveled at the sudden rise in strength of Chris and his comrades, pondering the role of Roman Dmitri in their transformation. Among them, a brown-haired soldier offered insight into the significance of leadership within a reputable swordsman family. He explained that every such family had a standout leader, whose skill and leadership abilities propelled them to greatness. In the case of Dmitri, it was Roman Dmitri himself who had risen to become the preeminent swordsman, elevating the family's status through his own strength and leadership. This revelation shed light on the clear direction in which the swordsmen of the northeastern region were now headed. To succeed in the competitive world of swordsmanship, the soldier emphasized, one had to pledge their loyalty to Dmitri. It was evident that the once dominant force of the Northeastern Alliance Association had been eclipsed by the rising power of Dmitri, and those aspiring to greatness as swordsmen would need to align themselves with the formidable family. The scene then shifted to Roman himself, who stood tall amidst the jubilant participants from Dmitri. He offered his congratulations to each of them, recognizing their outstanding performance in the tournament. Roman acknowledged that among those who had sworn loyalty to him, there were those who did so out of necessity, driven by the need for strength, while others did so out of genuine respect for his leadership and prowess. Amidst the myriad complexities of human relationships, Roman harbors a distinct aversion to entanglement. While recognizing that some may find themselves with limited options, Roman maintains a preference for simplicity. Emotions, Roman believes, can forge a bond as tight as any, yet his vision of an ideal relationship transcends mere sentimentality. For Roman, the pinnacle of companionship lies in a reciprocal exchange, where both parties bring something of value to the table. In Roman's realm, this reciprocity ensures a steadfastness that endures the test of time. The soldiers under Roman's command yearn for something from their leader, and in turn, Roman seeks something from them. It's a symbiosis that fortifies their connection, enabling it to weather even the most prolonged passages of time. Roman holds in high regard the ambition of his soldiers to grow stronger, viewing it as a testament to their dedication. He implores them never to lose sight of this pursuit. After all, each soldier is handpicked by Roman himself, a testament to his unwavering faith in their abilities. Just as Roman has never doubted their capacity for victory, he urges them to harbor the same unyielding belief in themselves. In a gesture of appreciation and recognition, Roman generously rewarded the victors of the competition with 10 gold coins and 3 days of well-deserved respite. He hoped that they would relish their rewards, expressing heartfelt gratitude for their unwavering dedication and allegiance. The scene transitions to Roman's office, where Lucas delivers his findings on the Alliance Association's movements. He informs Roman that, in line with his expectations, the association has abandoned any plans to confront Dmitri. Lucas asserts that they are unlikely to challenge Dmitri again unless a golden opportunity presents itself. Roman acknowledges the inherent limitations of control in the world. He reflects on the inevitability of dissent, even under the rule of a wise leader. With the uncertainty surrounding Dmitri's potential conflicts with the central government, Roman stresses the importance of minimizing losses in the northeastern region. Thus, he deems the Northeastern Association alliance a necessary evil. Considering his strategy, Roman concludes that he has successfully provoked the alliance, forcing them to confront reality. He resolves that the next step is to employ power to overcome power. With determination, Roman instructs Lucas to proceed with the plan. Meanwhile, the narrative shifted to the northern outskirts of Cairo, where Count Douglas, a prominent figure with a reputation to uphold, found himself seething with frustration. His anger was directed at his workers, who, despite their efforts, had failed to apprehend a group of bandits and retrieve a crucial slush fund. The worker explained to Douglas that although the bandits in the vicinity had been subdued, locating the hidden fund proved elusive. The origin of this fund traced back to Count Barco, who, foreseeing potential conflicts like the one with the Lawrence family, had gathered funds from sources beyond the Golden Bank. Barco, backed by financial support from Count Douglas and other allies, had prepared for unforeseen situations, bringing along a powerful ally named Homeros as his ace card. However, the tides turned against Barco in the conflict with Roman, resulting in his defeat. Barco's escape attempt in the dead of night led to his demise, leaving Douglas with the grim reality that the only person who could recover the borrowed money had vanished from the world. In a moment of despair, Douglas recalled confidential discussions over meals with Barco. From these conversations, he gleaned information about the hidden slush fund. Driven by desperation, Douglas enlisted the services of the Black Moon, a clandestine group, to locate the fund. Yet, their efforts were thwarted when a group of audacious bandits intercepted the transport, making off with the valuable gold bars. The audacity of a mere bandit group absconding with such a significant treasure confounded and frustrated Douglas. Despite the setback, Douglas remained resolute in his determination to reclaim the stolen funds. He issued an impassioned decree to his men, demanding an exhaustive search throughout the northeastern region until the gold bars were recovered. As frustration loomed large, a breakthrough emerged. A worker rushed in, announcing the arrival of the Black Moon and the revelation of the gold bar's whereabouts. Anxious to expedite the recovery process, Douglas instructed his men to bring in the members of the Black Moon immediately. Among them stood Donovan, a figure draped in a cloak, and the leader of the Black Moon. Donovan bore news of a significant development. Through patient surveillance of the black market, he had uncovered the identity of those responsible for pilfering the gold bars. Douglas, fueled by impatience and a thirst for retribution, demanded that Donovan disclose the identities of the perpetrators without delay. Donovan's revelation left Count Douglas reeling with disbelief. The perpetrators of the audacious theft weren't mere bandits, but members of the Northeastern Alliance Association. As Donovan meticulously unraveled the intricate sequence of events, initially it seemed like a routine encounter with bandits, but fate intervened when the bandits crossed paths with soldiers from the Alliance Association. Exploiting the chaos, the soldiers swiftly overwhelmed the bandits and seized the horse carriage containing the stolen gold bars. Donovan asserted with conviction that the soldiers were cognizant of the carriage's ownership, implicating the association in the brazen heist. To substantiate his claims, Donovan presented a damning piece of evidence, a gold bar discovered within the black market. Its distinctive markings matched those of Barco's slush funds, confirming the association's involvement. Further investigation revealed the damning connection. The servant responsible for the illicit sale was affiliated with the Alliance. Donovan reflects on the pivotal moment when he divulged crucial information to Count Douglas, realizing the pivotal role he played in thwarting what could have been the Alliance Association's perfect crime. Yet, he acknowledges that their descent into crisis that the Kronos Empire's attention was already fixated on him. He reminded King Daniel that even if Count Gregory were eliminated, it would not alter the trajectory set in motion since the execution of Benedict. The era of Cairo's peace had come to an abrupt end. With conviction, Roman urged King Daniel to grasp the weight of the decision before him. The future of Cairo hung in the balance. As the weight of Roman's words settled upon King Daniel, a profound sense of indebtedness washed over him once more. Stepping forward, King Daniel conveyed the enduring gratitude of the Cairo royal family for Roman Dimitri's unwavering devotion. However, the gravity of the situation demanded a stern address. King Daniel asserted that Count Gregory's transgressions extended beyond mere collusion with the Kronos Empire. They tarnished the very honor of Cairo. Despite Count Gregory's attempts to interject, King Daniel silenced him, declaring that, as a traitor who had imperiled the kingdom, execution was the only just consequence. The scene transitioned to Cairo Plaza, where Count Gregory, reflecting on his foolishness, pondered an alternative course of action. Instead of attempting to win Roman over, he realized he should have treated Roman Dimitri as a potential threat to the empire. Undeterred, Count Gregory proposed to Roman that he still had the chance to pledge loyalty to the empire, emphasizing Roman's insignificance compared to the vast power of Kronos. He pointed out that Gustavo, the adversary Roman had faced, ranked only 78th within the continent, a stark reminder of the empire's formidable might. Count Gregory's voice carried a note of urgency as he continued to address Roman. He spoke of Valhalla, a realm where countless individuals possessed strength beyond even Roman's reckoning. He challenged Roman's belief in his ability to face these formidable adversaries alone, urging him to consider the consequences wisely. Even if Roman's dealings with the Kronos Empire concluded, Count Gregory warned, Valhalla remained a looming threat. He emphasized that if he were executed, Roman's ties with Valhalla would be irrevocably severed. Roman's response was unexpected. He calmly expressed anticipation for the impending confrontation. Count Gregory, taken aback, accused Roman of foolishness for willingly antagonizing the two most powerful factions on the continent. Thus, the stage was set for the downfall of Cairo's three factions. Meanwhile, within the confines of the royal palace, King Daniel turned his attention to Count Vanderburg. Praise filled his words as he commended the Count for his leadership on the western front line, where he had successfully repelled the forces of the Kronos Empire. Amidst the chaos of the Kronos invasion, Count Vanderburg emerged as a beacon of valor, bringing honor to Cairo through his courageous actions. In recognition of his deeds, King Daniel bestowed upon him the prestigious title of Marquis, along with additional territory to govern. However, King Daniel's praise did not end there. He acknowledged the bravery of others who had fought tirelessly on the western front line against the Kronos onslaught. Baron Noel, Flora Lawrence, and Roman Dmitri were singled out for their remarkable contributions to the war effort. As a token of appreciation, King Daniel elevated their status and rewarded each with a generous sum of gold. Yet, it was Roman Dmitri's pivotal role that drew particular attention. King Daniel openly credited Roman and his family for their indispensable aid, without which the royal faction might not have emerged victorious. The assembled nobles echoed their agreement, insisting that Roman deserved a more substantial reward for his invaluable service. However, few nobles hesitated. Despite Roman's undeniable importance, the nobles harbored concerns about granting him further power. Aware of the formidable strength already wielded by Dmitri's forces, nobles feared upsetting the delicate balance of power among the factions. Count Bindner, sensing the tension in the room, intervened. With a firm voice, he urged the gathered nobles to cease their arguments and focus on the greater good. Count Bindner's voice cut through the murmurs of the gathered nobles, reminding them of Cairo Kingdom's painful history of betrayal. He cautioned against repeating past mistakes by selfishly pursuing individual gains at the expense of unity. King Daniel nodded in agreement, acknowledging the wisdom in Bindner's words. With a somber tone, King Daniel conceded that Roman Dmitri and his family posed a challenge beyond Cairo's containment. The war had unveiled the extent of the Dmitri family's power, surpassing even that of Cairo itself. Recognizing this reality, King Daniel proposed a shift in perspective. Rather than treating the Dmitris as mere vassals, they should be acknowledged as allies, a nation in their own right. King Daniel saw an opportunity amidst the turmoil, an opportunity to redefine Cairo's image to the world. He envisioned a new era of cooperation and strength. To mark this historic moment, he announced that on the day the Dmitri family officially declared their dukedom, he would extend his personal congratulations. Thus, as the sovereign of Cairo, King Daniel bestowed upon the Dmitri family the esteemed title of Duke, cementing their place as valued partners in the kingdom's future endeavors. King Daniel proclaimed the eastern region, encompassing the Dmitri's domain, as a dukedom. Thus, on this historic day, what was once mere countryside blossomed into the inaugural territory of the Dmitri's dukedom. The news rippled through the Cairo kingdom, igniting conversations far and wide about the remarkable deeds of Roman Dmitri. Not only had he quelled the factional discord that plagued Cairo for ages, but he had also defied the might of the Kronos Empire. Whispers filled the streets, pondering who could possibly stand against the indomitable Roman Dmitri. Even the king himself bore witness to Roman's prowess, leaving many to wonder about the extent of his strength. At an age where most struggled to leave their mark, Roman Dmitri stood on the cusp of unprecedented greatness. Speculation swirled, with many daring to dream that Roman, as a swordsman of Cairo, might ascend to the prestigious ranks of the top 50 for the first time in history. The magnitude of Roman's accomplishments reverberated across the continent, transcending borders and uniting people in awe. Regardless of nationality, all eyes turned to Roman Dmitri, a figure whose actions had rewritten the annals of history. As tales of Roman's exploits spread far and wide, even the wandering minstrels wove songs of his achievements. With each passing mention, the stature of the Dmitri family seemed to ascend ever higher into the boundless skies. Yet, the genesis of these rumors didn't emerge by happenstance. They trace back to a certain mansion nestled within Cairo. Within the confines of this mansion, a conversation unfolded between a butler and his master. The butler relayed news of the continent's burgeoning fascination with Sir Roman, noting how his renown was poised to transcend even Cairo's borders. The master, revealed to be Henry, expressed satisfaction at the unfolding events, deeming their plan a success. However, Henry's satisfaction was short-lived. In his eyes, their current achievements were but a fraction of what was yet to come. It had taken him 2 years to elevate a mere baronial family to the esteemed status of the Dimitri dukedom, but his ambitions extended far beyond Cairo's borders. Henry envisioned a grander stage where Roman Dimitri would be hailed as the hero of the entire continent. To realize this vision, Henry understood the need to amplify Roman's feats, ensuring they resonated across every corner of the land. Henry Albert reflected on the remarkable transformation his life had undergone. From the humble beginnings of gathering like-minded individuals interested in Roman's endeavors, Henry's influence had surged. Now, he found himself delivering lectures at the prestigious Cairo Royal Academy, an opportunity he could scarcely have imagined in the past. Teaching the children of esteemed families and receiving overwhelming responses to his lectures, Henry's household had shifted from fretting over financial concerns to basking in pride. At the Cairo Royal Academy, a pivotal encounter unfolded. The professor, deeply moved by Henry's lecture, confessed to feeling a surge of excitement within his heart. He credited Henry for shedding light on a crucial truth. It was the unwavering dedication of Cairo's heroes on the southern front line that safeguarded the city's populace. Thanks to Henry's insights, the professor gained a newfound appreciation for the sacrifices made by these valiant defenders. In a sudden flash of insight, Henry experienced a profound realization about life. The reason for the fervent fascination surrounding him was remarkably simple. People yearned to perceive Roman Dimitri through the lens of Henry Albert. Despite Henry's relative anonymity, his association with Sir Roman, particularly his communication with the royal family on Roman's behalf, elevated him to a status of greatness in the eyes of many. Henry understood that this admiration wasn't rooted in foolishness. Even esteemed figures like the professor from the Royal Academy held Henry in high regard. It seemed to be a primal instinct of humanity to seek connection and inspiration through those who championed heroes. Reflecting on history, Henry recognized that the legendary names known worldwide had gained their renown through the efforts of individuals like himself, ones who shared their heroic exploits with the world. From that moment onward, Henry's life mission crystallized before him, to disseminate Roman's achievements far and wide, ensuring that his greatness echoed throughout the annals of history. Later, within the confines of his mansion, Henry contemplated the fact that he and Roman were not particularly close. Yet, for the sake of his own comfort and fulfillment, Henry felt compelled to shine a spotlight on the remarkable character of Roman Dimitri. Such was the way of life in this world, where destinies intertwined and choices defined fates. The scene transitions to the Dimitri territory, where Rodwell has returned to his hometown after an unspecified length of time. As he traverses the familiar streets, Rodwell reflects on the changes that have taken place in his absence. As Rodwell ventures into Dimitri territory, he settles into a quiet corner of a restaurant, observing the reverent chatter surrounding Roman's name. Amidst this atmosphere, Rodwell feels a sense of displacement, sensing that he no longer fits within the Dimitri fold. He grapples with the realization that he has strayed from his path. Contemplating his future, Rodwell understands that a decision must be made, to either embrace his place within the Dimitris or to embark once more towards the western horizon. Abruptly, the scene transitions to Baron Romero's office, where both Roman and Rodwell have convened to meet their father. Baron Romero reveals the purpose behind summoning them, the impending succession of the Dimitri family. With the imminent transformation of the Dimitris into a dukedom, a new chapter is set to unfold for the family. Aware of the weight of their impending responsibilities, both Rodwell and Roman understand that the burdens upon their shoulders are about to grow heavier. Baron Romero was in a quandary about who should succeed the Dimitri family. Rodwell, his son, approached him with a surprising request. Rodwell expressed his wish to forfeit his right to succession. He believed Roman was better suited for the role. Rodwell made this decision thinking about the future of the Dimitri lineage. He asked his father to let him go. Baron Dimitri was taken aback by this revelation. Rodwell then requested some time for himself and left the room. Later, Romero Dimitri confided in Roman about how Baron Dimitri had once worried about burdening Rodwell too much. Coming from humble beginnings, the Dimitri family faced skepticism from other nobles. Baron Romero had noticed Rodwell's dedication to training with his sword, a sign of his determination to prove the doubters wrong. In the eyes of Baron Romero, Rodwell stood out among the rest, displaying exceptional qualities that hinted at his potential to carry the weight of the Dimitri legacy on his shoulders. Despite being in an age where most would indulge in youthful pursuits, Rodwell found himself burdened by the weight of his father's expectations. For Rodwell, who had dedicated his entire life to the service of the Dmitri family, this responsibility was both a privilege and a heavy mantle to bear. However, today marked a turning point. Baron Romero grappled with the difficult decision of informing Rodwell that he couldn't ascend to the position of successor. Though filled with regret, Baron Romero believed this choice was necessary for the future of the Dmitri lineage. Baron Romero confides in Roman, expressing his belief that Roman's ascension as successor would be the most fitting course of action. However, before Roman's eventual succession, Baron Romero humbly requests a favor. With a solemn tone, Roman urges his father to share his request. Baron Romero reveals that he wishes for Roman to take on the responsibility of caring for his brother, Rodwell, who has endured significant losses throughout his life. This poignant plea marks Baron Romero's final request to Roman, who is poised to inherit the leadership of the Dmitris. Roman, with a sense of duty, assures his father that he will do his utmost to fulfill this responsibility. The scene then transitioned to the Dmitri family's training grounds, where Rodwell was diligently honing his swordsmanship skills. However, a sense of dismay washed over him as he repeatedly missed his target. Despite his intentions to strike true, Rodwell found that his swings consistently fell short of their mark. At that moment, Roman entered the scene, observing Rodwell's struggles with a keen eye. He approached his brother with a gentle yet firm demeanor, explaining that simply aiming for the target wouldn't be sufficient in overcoming their adversaries. Roman pointed out that Rodwell's body movements had been ingrained through years of rigorous training, and the loss of one eye had altered more than just his vision. With empathy in his voice, Roman elaborated on the challenges Rodwell now faced, the distortion of distance perception and the uncertainty that stemmed from it. However, he urged Rodwell not to dwell solely on what he had lost. Instead, Roman encouraged him to harness the strengths he still possessed, emphasizing that adaptation and resourcefulness would be key in navigating this new reality. Rodwell's world was about to expand in ways he couldn't have imagined before. Roman assured him that with the right guidance, he could perceive a reality beyond what his eyes alone could reveal. This offer stirred something within Rodwell, prompting him to question Roman's motives with a hint of defiance. "Why should I listen to you?" Rodwell challenged, his tone edged with skepticism. He pressed Roman further, demanding to know why his brother cared so deeply for him, especially now that Roman had ascended to the position of successor. In a solemn conversation, Roman conveys to Rodwell that the Dmitri family has entered a new and precarious phase. They find themselves in disfavor with both Kronos and Valhalla, and the unpredictable nature of their intentions adds an element of uncertainty. Roman cautions Rodwell that the Kingdom Alliance's allegiance may not be unwavering until the very end, emphasizing the need for Dmitri to bolster its own strength for self-protection. Despite Roman's ability to navigate challenges independently thus far, he acknowledges the inevitability of reaching his limits with time. Contemplating potential conflicts, Roman expresses that if the Empire mobilizes its forces and attacks, he would be compelled to take the battlefield. In anticipation of such scenarios, Roman candidly suggests to Rodwell that, in his absence, he hopes his brother can assume leadership over Dmitri. This revelation leaves Rodwell momentarily stunned. In the southwestern expanse of the Salamander continent, the four kingdoms, Umberto, Redford, Odelia, and Frank, find themselves geographically adjacent to the expansive empires. Recognizing the need for collective security, they forged the Kingdom Alliance, a pact born out of the necessity for mutual defense. In the face of looming threats, they instinctively understood the significance of Roman Dmitri. A few days preceding the proclamation ceremony of the Duchy of Dmitri, the scene transitions to a conference room. Here, nobles from all four kingdoms have convened. Count Verdio, representing the Umberto kingdom, addresses his counterparts gathered around the table. He recounted the recent turmoil in Cario, a rebellion of unprecedented scale, which Roman Dmitri had adeptly managed. Highlighting Rodwell's role in rallying the Southern Kingdom Alliance to brace for potential retaliation from the Empire, Count Verdio emphasized Roman's prowess not only in military might but also in strategic acumen. However, he cautioned that the stability of the Southern Kingdom Alliance was far from guaranteed. Count Verdio's voice resonated with conviction as he addressed the gathered nobles. He proposed a solution to secure the kingdom's independence: Roman Dmitri. Noting Roman's unmarried status, Count Verdio suggested the strategic move of arranging a marriage between him and the Princess of Umberto. The King of Umberto pondered the suggestion but voiced concern about the princess's existing affections. Count Verdio, however, emphasized the urgency of the situation, stressing that personal sentiments must be set aside in favor of seizing the opportunity at hand. Responding decisively, the king of Umberto bestowed Count Verdio with full authority over the matter, entrusting him with the responsibility of ensuring the success of the proposed union with Roman Dimitri. As time passed, the proclamation of the Duchy of Dimitri filled the air with jubilation, marking a joyous occasion for the realm. The festivities enveloped Dimitri in a vibrant atmosphere of celebration. In the halls of the Dimitri Palace, Duke Romero and his wife were greeted by Count Verdio. With a tactful yet assertive demeanor, Count Verdio broached the topic of Roman's marital prospects, suggesting that perhaps the time had come for him to consider marriage. With a twinkle of anticipation in his eye, Count Verdio proposed the idea of Roman marrying the Princess of Umberto. Known as the Treasure of Umberto, the princess possessed a rare blend of beauty and intellect, having graduated with flying colors from a renowned academy. Count Verdio envisioned a union between her and the finest scion of the Dimitri lineage as an ideal match. Suddenly, Count Ringo of the Redford Kingdom stepped forward, casting doubt upon the princess's supposed affections. He hinted at rumors suggesting her fondness for a man of lesser rank from a baron's family. Count Verdio, visibly taken aback by this revelation, questioned the credibility of such hearsay. Count Ringo then introduced himself to Duke Romero and his wife, proposing alternative matches from Redford's noble families. Duke Martin of the Odelia Kingdom echoed this sentiment, triggering a chorus of suggestions from other nobles vying for Roman's hand in marriage. Amidst the escalating clamor, Duke Romero intervened, commanding attention with his authoritative voice. He declared his and his wife's disinterest in political alliances, preferring genuine affection over strategic unions. Duke Romero proposed a different approach, suggesting that rather than pressuring them, they should allow Roman to follow his heart. If a woman were to capture his son's affections, Duke Romero and his wife would extend their warm embrace to her, regardless of her noble lineage. The nobles exchanged knowing smirks as Duke Romero's declaration echoed through the chamber. Meanwhile, out on the terrace, Felix was approached by Baron Larsen, representing the Kingdom of Frank. Baron Larsen expressed the deep concern of Frank's ruler over the disappearance of the Phoenix Tower. He proposed a solution, suggesting that Felix consider returning to Frank, assuring him of full support henceforth. Baron Larsen pledged his word once more on behalf of his kingdom. However, Felix met Baron Larsen's offer with a firm rebuttal. He reminded the Baron of Frank's previous betrayal of the Phoenix Tower's trust. Undeterred, Baron Larsen insisted that this time would be different, and Frank would uphold its responsibilities. Yet, Felix remained resolute, rejecting the offer outright. He explained that the Phoenix Tower had found someone who valued their worth and had pledged their allegiance to the Dimitri family. With finality, Felix instructed Baron Larsen to relay to Frank that the once strong bond between Frank and the Phoenix Tower was now severed. Inside the grand halls of the Dimitri Palace, Roman stood poised amidst the throng of guests, his gaze sweeping over the assembled nobility. His thoughts drifted to the noticeable absence of emissaries from the two mighty empires. Roman acknowledged the predictable reticence of Kronos, given their history of issuing assassination threats. As for the Valhalla Empire, Roman speculated that they likely wouldn't overlook the passing of Count Denver, especially considering their burgeoning ambitions for continental dominance. With the geopolitical landscape shifting towards an inevitable clash between empires and the Kingdom Alliance, Roman pondered the transient nature of their alliances with neighboring realms. He understood that while such partnerships served their current interests, ultimately, Cairo needed to bolster its own strength to withstand the encroaching imperial forces. In the midst of his contemplation, Hans, the palace attendant, entered the room, bearing news of an unexpected guest awaiting Roman's presence in the reception chamber. Surprised, Roman inquired if he had a scheduled meeting. Hans revealed that the visitor was none other than the prince from the kingdom of Hector. The scene transitions to the reception room, where Edwin warmly greets Roman. With genuine admiration, Edwin congratulates Roman on the establishment of the Duchy of Dimitri, praising his swift resolution of the rebellion in Cairo and his remarkable victory over the Kronos Empire. Roman, ever direct, cuts through the pleasantries, prompting Edwin to get to the heart of the matter. Acknowledging Roman's straightforward approach, Edwin admits that he hadn't anticipated their reunion outside the battlefield. Without preamble, Edwin reveals the startling revelation: there was a clandestine force behind the war between Hector and Cairo. He explains that Hector had initiated the conflict in response to years of failed harvests, a motive with no justification. However, following the war's conclusion, evidence emerged suggesting that the poor harvests had been deliberately engineered. As the land darkened and reports surfaced of an abundance of animal carcasses, Edwin somberly informs Roman of the ominous signs of a necromancer's curse. He emphasizes the perilous nature of delving into the realm of black magic, cautioning against humanity's involvement in such forbidden arts. Delving deeper into the matter, Edwin reveals that Hector's investigation uncovered a disturbing pattern. Hector's investigation has unearthed a startling revelation. A decade ago, the Kronos Empire experienced similar agricultural hardships to those in Hector. Edwin discloses to Roman that the Kronos Empire deliberately concealed this information, only to later confirm that these anomalies were the result of sinister black magic experiments. Moreover, the Empire harbors ambitions to fully subjugate the northern territories of the continent, initiating a formal campaign of conquest. Edwin emphasizes to Roman that this threat transcends Hector's borders. It could very well pose a future danger to the Duchy of Dimitri. To counter the burgeoning ambitions of the Kronos Empire, Edwin proposes a united front, urging Dimitri and Hector to forge an alliance. Edwin approached Roman with news of the Hector kingdom's desire to align with the Dimitris. Roman, unsurprised, remarked that he had anticipated this development. Edwin couldn't help but marvel at Roman's foreknowledge, considering Hector's intelligence had only recently gleaned the information. Roman casually mentioned that his own sources had already hinted at the possibility, given the clear advantage one could see in a conflict between Hector and Cairo. However, Roman questioned why he should entertain Hector's proposal. Edwin, taken aback, inquired if Roman was outright rejecting his offer. Roman clarified that his concern lay with Hector's capability to propose such a pact, given their current predicament. With Hector cornered and struggling to rehabilitate their arid lands, the limited aid from the Heavenly Palace wasn't sufficient for Edwin to fully address the issue. Cutting to the chase, Roman urged Edwin to skip redundant explanations and instead focus on why he should consider an alliance. With a penetrating gaze, Roman pressed Edwin to justify the merits of their collaboration. Edwin's expression shifted to one of surprise. Then he countered Roman's skepticism by acknowledging Hector's current vulnerability. However, he couldn't grasp why Roman would engage in a war where Hector would merely be an adjunct to Roman's efforts. Edwin speculated that Hector's plan seemed to align too neatly with the Dimitri's agenda of forging alliances among kingdoms. Roman conceded Edwin's point, affirming that unity was imperative in the face of the common adversary, the Empire. Yet, he probed Edwin further, questioning his faith in the kingdom alliance and whether he could commit to it until the end. Roman hinted at his own ability to dismantle such alliances, likening them to fragile sand castles. In a philosophical tone, Roman reflected on the complexities of human relationships, emphasizing the inherent mistrust humans harbor towards outsiders, contrasting it with the trust they place in their own circles. Roman elaborated further, painting a picture of the Umberto kingdom's precarious position on the front lines, facing the looming threat of Kronos. He emphasized the toll of continuous losses on Umberto, destabilizing its internal affairs. With Umberto's vulnerability laid bare, Roman expressed his intent to exploit it, aiming to coax Umberto out of the kingdom alliance. He delved into the woes of Redford, where the king's penchant for gambling had depleted the nation's coffers. Even attempts by his vassals to salvage the situation had led them to seek aid from the Golden Bank. Roman hinted at the possibility that betrayal might be the only solution for the debt-stricken Redford. Roman questioned whether Edwin believed Frank and Odelia, the other members of the alliance, were any different. Both kingdoms had long-standing grievances with Cairo, yet while Cairo had achieved stability by purging its factions, Roman doubted that Frank and Odelia could replicate such resolution. He underscored the vulnerability of the four kingdoms within the alliance, easy targets for Kronos aggression. Edwin's surprise lingered as Roman extended his analysis to include Hector. Yet, Edwin couldn't help but acknowledge the truth in Roman's assessment. The kingdom alliance was indeed fragile, its collapse imminent, like a sandcastle at the mercy of the tide. Roman asserted that unlike other kingdoms, Hector's intentions seemed genuine, driven by a desire for revenge against Kronos. However, he questioned whether Hector held any tangible value in its weakened state. Roman pressed Edwin once more, challenging him to justify why the Dimitris should align with Hector. Edwin's response was laced with a mixture of resignation and acceptance of the grim reality. He acknowledged the cruelty of the situation, recognizing that Hector's internal decay was inevitable. However, he argued that Hector's determination for revenge couldn't be dismissed, even if they weren't fit to lead the charge. Edwin countered Roman's inquiry with a somber reminder that wars demanded sacrifices, even from the Demetris. In the harsh calculus of conflict, there would inevitably be those who served as sacrificial lambs to pave the way forward. Edwin made a solemn vow that Hector would always occupy the forefront of the impending war. He contrasted Hector's resolute stance with the superficial appearance of unity within the Kingdom alliance, suggesting to Roman that an alliance with Hector, driven by a clear objective, would be more advantageous. Roman's response was a smirking acknowledgement, followed by a cryptic reminder for Edwin to recall the commitment he had just made. As Edwin departed, he reflected on his initial encounter with Roman on the battlefield, realizing he had encountered an unpredictable force that he had never encountered before. Despite his tireless efforts in the Heavenly Palace, Edwin recognized Roman as an unexpected variable, a status he aspired to achieve himself. Edwin harbored confidence that Hector would evolve into a force stronger than its current state. Meanwhile, Roman observed the burgeoning power emanating from Edwin, recognizing a significant transformation. Even if Hector contained only Edwin within its ranks, Roman deemed it valuable enough to integrate into his plans. A week later, the scene shifted to the Lawrence Palace, where Flora conversed with an elderly mage. She recounted the aftermath of the recent battle in Cairo, explaining how Roman Dmitri had dismantled Benedict's castle to swiftly suppress the rebel army. Flora noted the risks inherent in Roman's decisive action, warning that prolonged conflict would have likely drawn in the Empire faction to bolster the rebellion's ranks. The elderly mage nodded in understanding, attributing Roman's bold move to the influence of the Phoenix Magic Tower. He emphasized the strategic imperative of quashing the rebellion swiftly, as allowing it to persist would only benefit their adversaries. Turning to Flora, he sought her opinion on Roman's choice to open the castle gates. In response, Flora questioned the necessity of endangering the Western front line with such a risky maneuver. The old man concurred with Flora's assessment, acknowledging the perilous nature of Roman's decision. Nevertheless, he revealed Roman's confidence in his ability to vanquish Knight Captain Gustavo, underpinning his audacious strategy. The old man imparted to Flora a profound truth. War was a realm where experiences unattainable in books were forged. He explained that even perilous decisions or situations could sometimes be the catalyst for turning the tide of battle. He emphasized the thin line between recklessness and boldness, underscoring how, in this conflict, Roman Dmitri's prowess was instrumental in shaping the outcomes. Flora found herself taken aback by this insight. As the scene transitioned to the exterior of the castle, Count Lawrence approached Flora. He expressed his understanding of Flora's desire to learn war tactics and offered heartfelt encouragement. Yet, despite his support, Count Lawrence couldn't conceal his apprehension about Flora's decision to head to the Western front line. With genuine concern, Count Lawrence confessed to Flora that not a day had passed without him fearing for her safety. He pleaded with her to reconsider and return home. In response, Flora reassured her father, explaining that her time on the Western front line had enriched her with invaluable experiences. Each time the Kronos Empire breached Cairo's borders, devastation followed in its wake. Flames consumed the land, and lives were lost. In those harrowing moments, Flora felt powerless, compelled to witness the horrors of war unfold before her eyes. She realized that war had ceased to be a distant concept. It had become an undeniable reality. Determined to confront this reality head-on, Flora resolved to immerse herself in every facet of the conflict, seeking growth and understanding with each experience. She knew that she must